and you really have been pointing me in the right direction. So I mean, stuff that I already kind of knew, but you really woke me up to like a different aspect of it. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And when you say I already kind of knew, that is because the truth is already in us. We already know the truth. We just kind of forgot it. You know what I'm saying? And
I took on the nature of my mother, not even realizing that I had so much resentment towards my father, and I couldn't have a relationship and understand him because I just was holding on to that for so long.
Yeah. You see what you're doing to your children, Mama? You're doing it to the boys and the girls. You're recreating the daughters in your image, and they're doing the same thing to their children because they become like you. William, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Jesse? Can you hear me?
All is well. A little louder for me, William.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
That's perfect.
All right, cool. Nah, I just want to say thank you, man, for everything that you've been doing, man. I just started listening to you about 3 weeks ago, and you really have been pointing me in the right direction. So I mean, stuff that I already kind of knew, but you really woke me up to like a different aspect of it. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And when you say I already kind of knew, that is because the truth is already in us. We already know the truth. We just kind of forgot it. You know what I'm saying? And once you start questioning things, you come back to that truth that you already know.
For sure. And one thing I wanted to talk to you about was I was struggling with my emotions way before I found you or whatever. And I'm an old Bible thumper, so I wanted to ask you about a verse.
All right.
And that was when Jesus wept. And I was like, is that emotional that he wept because Lazarus died, or
no?
You know what I'm saying?
He wept because the people, and it wasn't emotional, but he wept because the people could not see. That's why they were blind and they could not see. I'm sorry?
Like you said, he wept because people couldn't see?
Right.
Like, what do you mean? I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That's a good question. You know how now you're starting to wake up from within, and you're starting to realize that the things you have been told was not true, was a lie, and that you were unconscious, emotional, and not feeling. You were blind. And that's what Christ knew, is that the people were blind and could not see.
Okay.
Can you hold for me, William?
For sure.
Right, hold on. William, when you heard that Jesus wept, what does that mean to you?
I just initially thought he was emotional. I just thought like, oh, okay, that's emotions right there, and I just wanted to ask you about it, clear it up.
Yeah, only the children of the devil are emotional. An emotional person is a very evil and dangerous person.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that right now, so I'm trying to purge that.
You struggle with what?
Silent prayer. Just emotions. Like I thought I was doing well until I saw them clips you played. And I started tearing up a little bit, and I was like, oh man, I was a little, it set me back. Watching the boy fish and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Well, she passed in 2015, but by the time I found your videos on how to do it, I had heard you tell another caller, if you forgive him in your spirit, or if you kind of, what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know how the things you have done, the things you think and done, you couldn't help yourself, but it was something else driving you, right?
Agreed.
That was the spirit of your mother, which is the spirit of the devil. And so your mother could not help herself. And the way she imposed her will on you, she turned you away from your father. She literally couldn't help it. That spirit, because the Satan is the woman's God, he was driving her to do what she's done to you. She couldn't help it. So forgive her by realizing, just as you can't help yourself, your mother can help yourself. And God will forgive you and make you free, William.
I agree with you. I appreciate that.
Have you forgiven your father?
I did.
How did that go?
That a couple of years ago. That was pretty cool. He was pretty understanding about it.
Yeah.
We went in pretty good depth, and he knew, what I was talking about, and he shed some tears, but we got it all out. We're cool now.
Right on. Well, fathers love their children. When they leave the mother, they're not leaving the children, they're leaving the mothers. but the mothers make you think that they're leaving you, and they're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a mess!
Because they black, man. Because they black.
He black.
But look, I want to answer the biblical question.
Okay, let me ask you this about you. When you become emotional now, how do you deal with it?
Before I would get it. I had an anger problem.
Yes.
But right now, like as of lately, I just pause and I stop. I just stop. And that's if I'm in a public setting. But if I'm in a private setting, I started practicing your silent prayer, and I actually enjoy that. I really do.
Well, stay with it, William. Stay with it.
Yeah.
And when those emotions come up, the false sense of feeling good and the false sense of anger, just know it's not you. Don't ever call them you again. Don't say, I am this. Even though you feel it in the body, it's not in you. Mm-hmm. It's in the body. And don't call it you. And that way you stop identifying with the devil, and he'll be taken away from you.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
So the biblical question, what distinguishes you from other people?
I didn't really think about it, but I have to be honest, nothing. Nothing. I think we're all the same. Maybe one thing would be like our decision of whether we want to stay in hell or not. But other than that, we're all the same.
Oh, amazing. I would love to respond to that, but I got to wait until Sunday. But I do appreciate you responding to the biblical question.
Hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all are spreading some mad love and strength around here. And, hey, I just saw Hassan's video. That was pretty dope.
I know.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Pretty dope. So I appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all.
All right, you too, William. Thank you, buddy. Aaron, let's try it again. Thanks for holding.
Hey, thanks, Jesse. I'm hoping you can hear me better now.
100% better.
Okay, great. Thanks. Basically, I'm kind of trying to figure out how to fully let go of like my false self, because I'm trying to overcome, but I don't know if it's that I don't want to let go or I still love the hell that I'm in, but it's just, I don't know, I'm still living with my mom. I forgave my mother, like you said, I forgave my father, but I don't know if I fully let go of everything that I just experienced, I don't know.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh, okay. And what happened when you went to your mother and forgave her? How did that go?
It went well, I guess. I mean, she didn't really take it like how I thought she would. Right. But like, as far as like what I told her, I kind of just let it go. I didn't really explain it too much. Like, I gave it up to her. I just told her. So I kind of just took everything else that came after that. So.
Right on. And why haven't you moved out?
Well, I'm kind of working on that now, but I was just recently like in a relationship, so that kind of like took me away from, I guess, like being on top of that. I don't know. I was really distracted. It was hard for me to kind of break out of that relationship for a while, but I would say that's probably one of the main reasons. And also, my mother, she's kept me real sheltered. Growing up, they didn't really like apply to me that at 18 I should be moving out. I know you said that, and I totally agree with it. I want to endure life, take on things, and become a man, like I should. But it's hard to growing up, getting away from that. But
yeah,
I'm definitely working towards it,
Nice.
Coming to that realization.
And how are things with you and your father right now?
Well, it's hard to kind of describe it, but I forgave my father. He's very emotional. Yeah. I kind of grew up being like experiencing that and not, I guess, getting that away. And my mother, I don't know if she did it knowingly, but she did turn me away from my father. I seen them arguing a lot and stuff like that. And my mother always told me, hey, don't be like your father, don't do this or whatever.
Wow.
And I didn't realize that, that it was turning me away from my own father. I took on the nature of my mother, not even realizing that I had so much resentment towards my father, and I couldn't have a relationship and understand him because I just was holding on to that for so long,
Yeah, you were seeing him through your mother's eyes and not your own eyes.
Right.
Was he in the home?
Yeah, I live with my father and mother. They're both in the home.
And so why does he let you stay there and you're 19? Why is he allowing that to happen?
Well, it's also like this. I guess the circumstances, the situation. You know, he's told me like, hey, we've had talks about it. We've kind of like bumped heads a little bit, and he's threatened about, you know, not in a way where it's like me growing, and my mother has kind of also went against him because he's been trying to get me out, you know. And it's like I understand everything that's happening. I'm content with everything at this point, you know. Like if I have to leave, you know, I'll endure life with God, you know, walk with God, and hopefully He'll lead me to where I'm supposed to be at right now.
And He will,
you know. Yeah. So, but you know, it's my grandmother as well. You know, they've all had certain views about my father, opinions, you know, everybody, my aunts and everything. So just, I can see clearly in a clear way to kind of get an understanding from them. But we've had talks about it, you know, and I definitely...
You said it's your grandmother's what?
I said my grandmother has also kind of been on this, you know, on the same side with my mother, and she's been a little bit more sympathetic.
Yeah.
I guess towards it, but it's just, you know, my mother talking to my grandmother about it and them kind of having the same mind towards it, it's kind of hard not to have their will like on you. You know what I'm saying? Towards my father, I guess.
Yeah.
My view.
Here's what I recommend about all that: give them the finger and be done with them. Okay. Don't listen to their crap anymore because it's all evil. Just don't be angry at them. They can't help it. Satan is their God. They cannot help it. But don't you participate in it. Don't argue with them. Don't try to prove anything to them. Stop arguing with the devil.
Yeah. And you know what's funny, Jesse? You opened me up to, I guess, a very different perspective. Because, like I said, I grew up in the church, you know, my whole entire life. You know, my grandmother, my grandfather's a pastor, my mother. And I it's hard to say, but I guess my mother, she's like almost like a Bible thumper. You know, she's kind of giving me the word all the time and telling me about it. You know, it's like I want to know God for myself, but I just feel like that for me hasn't done anything for me. You know, it's like people living in hypocrisy and just, you know, not going about it the right way. I didn't have no clear example, and I understand now that I just really yearn for my father. I yearn for my father to have that relationship with my father so he can direct me to the light. And I really want to be that example to when I have a son, you know, so.
Right on. And so you're over this girl that you were dating, right?
Yeah, I'm over her. It's been a lot, you know. I've been with her for about 11 months, and we finally kind of, I guess, parted ways or whatever.
Good.
But it was dealing with a lot, man. I know I came down to her stay with her sister or whatever for Thanksgiving because I was going to come down for Thanksgiving. I know now that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
You know, I really regret it now. It's like I didn't even stay till Thanksgiving. The whole situation, it broke out, you know. And while I was being there, we just had certain arguments, and it's like we have different views, you know, that I can understand now. But it was hard to break away, you know, because I guess just because of lust and, you know, being young, not seeing clearly. You know, but yeah, that's a whole other thing in itself. But.
Well, block her so you'll be done. Don't communicate with her anymore either.
Oh yeah, I blocked her. You know, I have to let go. You know, I'm trying to move forward and stay in the present. The devil is trying to talk to my mind and trying to get me to see other things, go back to her. You know, and I'm listening to my thoughts with whatever it's trying to tell me about the situation and try to get me to see. You know, just I can't even see clearly. So I'm trying to break free from that, and so that's what I'm talking about overcoming, you know.
So your question for me is what?
Well, I just want to kind of know how to fully let go of my false self, you know, because I don't know if it's ego or if I just love being in my hell, but I'm trying to figure out how to let go of myself, you know.
Nice.
I'm just.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Not every night, but
why not?
I've been doing it like when I get the chance to, whenever it's on my mind to, but sometimes it's just like I get so caught up with whatever the situation is, I just feel like what's the point? And that's honestly where my mind has been trying to tell me, like, listening to my thoughts, but I've been trying to do it.
Okay. Here's what I want you to know. Number one, you are not your thoughts. Every thought you get is straight out of hell. The ones that make you feel good and the ones that make you feel bad are all evil. They are not from you, and they are not from God. You hear me saying that?
Yeah.
And what all you have to do at this point, because you have gone and forgiven, you are welcome in the truth. You want the truth to come in and take over. All you have to do now, Aaron, is watch those thoughts and let them pass. That's all you need to do. And know that it's not you. Don't call them you. Don't say me, I feel this. Even though you're feeling some, when you get caught up in them, you're going to feel fear or loneliness or some kind of emotional pain, but it's not you. So don't call it I anymore.
Okay.
So you can stop identifying with it. And do the silent prayer and just watch those thoughts. That's all you have to do. And if you fall into them 1,000 times a minute, just come back out of them. Don't call it good. Don't call it evil. Just know you were in a thought, meaning that you were thinking about something in the past, which doesn't exist anymore, and you were thinking about the future, which doesn't exist. Just know that, and then watch those thoughts. And I promise you, God will take away the mindset of the devil, and he will give you a clear mind, and you will live a no-thinking life. And you'll just live by the light of the Father instead of the darkness of thoughts. It will change. Just stay with it.
Wow. You know, Jesse, this is like a revelation to me, you know, because it's like my whole life I've been told that it's okay to have emotions and that I should identify with these thoughts and emotions and, you know, just to figure out how to deal with them from my mother just being called towards that. But I know that all that is a lie. You know, it hasn't helped me at all. And I can't see clearly. You know, I do the things that I don't want to do. And, you know, I can't find my mind to just fully understand. You know, it's hard, but I guess now it's just, you know.
It's going to get easier. It is working. God is with you. He's shining the light on the not you, which are thoughts and emotion. And anyone that ever tell you that thoughts are good, you get away from them, that's your enemy. That's an evil person, and they are trying to keep you into hell or bring you back into hell where they are. Do not have anything to do with anyone that tell you emotions are good. Don't argue with them or anything. You just walk away. That's an evil person.
Got you. No, you're still right, you know. I see that now. I can see it clearly.
Yeah, and don't judge them or anything. You just walk away. They cannot see. And stay with the silent prayer. Do you believe that you're a sinner?
Well, I guess I'm still trying to figure out what exactly it is to have sin, you know, because I guess I have anger. I do have anger. And I'm trying to overcome that. I'm aware about that. But I guess all that other stuff, it just stems from that. You know, I know I still have anger, and I guess that's just what it is. But
here's what, you know, the sin was when you was resenting your parents, especially your father and mother. Now that you have forgiven them, God has forgiven you, no more sin. And your nature, all the sex stuff and all that stuff you've been doing, it's the nature of the devil. He will take that away by changing your nature. That is not you either, so stop calling that you, all right?
All right, cool.
And the next, hold that thought, but don't forget it. The next time you feel anger, don't say, I am angry. Just see it and know that it's not you. Don't claim it as you so you can stop identifying with all these false spirits, these false things that have made a home in you when you could not help yourself. It was never you. The real Aaron, the true Aaron, has never done anything wrong in your entire life. It's impossible for you to do wrong. It's this thing that made a home in you that was driving you to do the things that you've done. It wasn't you. You were listening to thoughts and emotions, thinking that it was you, and that's why it happened, but it was never you. And God knows that, and he has never held anything against you. He has wiped away all of your sins. You are free.
Wow. That makes perfect sense. You know, I really appreciate that. I needed to hear that. I've been so caught up in that, and I knew something was wrong. I could just tell it, and I guess I'm going against my own mind, and I guess what the thoughts are trying to tell me, not my own thoughts, but what somebody else is, trying to tell me. That's not me, but me breaking out of that, I realized that on this path, I have to constantly tell myself that these are not my thoughts, when I'm telling myself, and everything else, and just let go of all that. I just have to let go.
That's right. And that's beautiful that you have to say, these are not my thoughts. When the anger comes, this is not my anger. This is not me. Don't call it good or bad. Just know that it's not you, so you can get understanding. And understanding comes from God, and that will make you free. It would take away layers and layers and layers of misunderstanding. And misunderstanding, think you have grown up thinking that those things were you.
Okay.
And they were not.
Okay.
So all you have to do now, Aaron, and do no more than what I'm telling you, watch those thoughts and those feelings, because you're going to be caught up. The thoughts, you get feelings, and the feeling confirm the thoughts, right? Just know they're not you. Know they're not in you. They're in your body, but not in you. You're not your body. And just watch it. Stay with the prayer no matter what happens, who turned against you, what happened. You stay with the prayer. Don't be angry at anyone, and just live your life.
Okay, I will.
And as far as, do you have a job?
Yeah, I just recently left another job, but right now I'm in the working to start like 2 jobs. So I'm starting 2 jobs soon. Yeah, to do what I have to do, because I understand it. I got to get out and live, and I feel like being here, I'm really hindered.
You are.
From where I could be,
Absolutely.
To live with my mom, and she's trying to stop me. She's not pushing it on me. She's saying, you need to save, and it'd be good to save here and all this other stuff. But
that's
it's
evil.
not helping me, Yeah.
Life is not about just saving money. Life is about dealing with the issues of life and these issues that come, and not resent them and overcome them. So you're coming out of that fallen state into a risen state, which is the state of God. And you're not going to be able to do that under your mama's skirt tail. She'll keep you there and make you her husband.
I totally agree. And it's because of that I also have fear. I have fear of what's to come and be a shelter. And I'm the youngest of all my siblings, so my mom just definitely has that way that she kind of just imposes her will on me without even knowing it.
Yeah.
And it's like her nature, and I can't blame her, hold that resentment, because she can't help it.
Yes, that's right.
And she's not seeing clearly, but what I am seeing, I just have to break from that.
And you're a grown man now, so you don't have to tell her you're moving. You just quietly go to work, get yourself a second job, and when you see you have enough money to move and you can pay your rent, just go find your place in a pretty decent area if you can. Something, a little bachelor or something to start out, and just quietly move. You don't need to tell your mama. You're grown.
Right. You're right. It's like I always feel like I kind of got to go through my mom. She's kind of kept me in this like child state. I constantly got to tell her, like, Mom, I'm not a kid anymore, and it feels like I have to make her see it that way, because it's like the way she still talks to me is it's like almost like she's talking to her child, or like I'm still a little baby anymore. I don't like feeling that way and being like sheltered and stuff like that. I want to kind of break out of that.
That's right. The next time she does that, you say, look, if you don't stop speaking to me as though I'm a child, I'm not going to talk to you at all. I'm tired of you imposing your will on me, and I told you to stop. Just be firm with her. Just don't be angry.
Right. It's a hard truth. It's like I always feel like it's like part of overcoming my mom, and I'm realizing that, So
every human being that's born through the woman, and all human beings are, got to overcome the woman. God said we must be born. You have to be born a second time, which is of the Father. So you're doing fine. It's working. You're on your way. Relax and let life happen. You can't make it happen. It will happen on its own as you let go of trying to make life happen. Just stay with the prayer. Watch those thoughts. Stop calling them you. Stop saying, I have anger. You have no anger. That's a spirit that has made a home in you. and it's not you. And just see it, but don't call it good or bad. Don't call it you, and just watch. And then with the physical stuff, go out and get a second job. Take your time, quietly save some money, quietly find your place. And I'm telling you, one thing will lead to another one.
Okay. I'll make sure to do that. Thank you.
Amazing.
Amazing. I really appreciate that, Jesse.
You're welcome. Any other question or anything?
No.
All right, well, keep me updated how it's going, but that's all you have to do now. Just watch those thoughts. They are not you. I don't see how strong the feeling get of anger or fear or anything. Just know it's not you, and face the fear. Do what you got to do, and you'll see it was never you, and it will be taken away from you. You got to go through that hell without being mad about it, and on the other side is heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within you.
Okay. I'll do that.
I wish you well, man.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. If you have any questions, you call me again.
Okay, I'll make sure to do that. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Amazing. See what you're doing to your children, Mama? You're doing it to the boys and the girls. You're recreating the daughters in your image, and they're doing the same thing to their children because they become like you. That wicked spirit. And it's not you. It's that spirit made a home in you, ladies. You must be born again of your Father.